AI can make you sound like the smartest person in the room right up until the room asks you a follow-up question. You've seen it. The strategy document looks sharp. The email sounds executive level. Then somebody asks, why'd you choose this approach? And suddenly the whole thing starts shaking. They can repeat what's written, but they can't explain the assumptions, point to the source, or defend the thinking behind it. That doesn't automatically mean the person's dishonest or unintelligent. It doesn't mean everybody who communicates better in writing is hiding behind AI, but it does point to a real problem. AI can help you perform above your current skill level before it helps you understand at that level. And the danger starts when you mistake that assisted performance for your own competence. That right there is the AI confidence trap. Welcome back inside the Neural Dojo Podcast. This is where humans and AI meet to think out loud. I'm Kyrie, aka KT, the AI Sensei. Today, we're getting into an uncomfortable question. Is AI helping you become more capable, or is it only helping you look more capable? Let's get into it. So, I already did an episode asking if AI is making us dumber. That conversation was about skill loss, dependency, and whether AI becomes a coach or a crutch. My answer was pretty simple. If AI replaces your thinking, it can weaken you. If it supports your thinking, it can sharpen you. But there was one part I didn't go deep enough on, and a recent conversation online, let's call it a healthy debate, brought me right back to it. The debate was about a study called Your Brain on ChatGPT. Somebody was using it to claim that AI use causes brain damage comparable to repeated traumatic brain injuries, that the damage keeps stacking up, and that it might not be reversible. My point was, that's not what the study found. You can be concerned about how AI affects thinking without turning an early study into a medical conclusion it never reached. The study had people write essays in 3 groups. One used an LLM, like ChatGPT or Claude. One used search, and one wrote without either tool. The LLM group showed the weakest EEG connectivity during the task. They also had more trouble quoting their own essays and reported less ownership over the work. That's worth paying attention to. I'm not brushing it off, but the study didn't diagnose brain damage, and it didn't medically compare the results to repeated TBIs. It was a relatively small preprint, and later researchers raised questions about how cautiously some of the results should be interpreted. So I stood on what I said. The study didn't support the claim being made. And there was another part of that exchange I pushed back on, the idea that people who actually understand LLMs avoid them like the plague. I understand these tools. I use them regularly. I don't avoid them. What I don't do is hand them my judgment, discernment, planning, and decision making, then act like whatever comes back is automatically expertise. But that conversation did make me think about the stronger issue underneath it. Maybe the immediate concern isn't that AI is physically damaging everybody's brain. Maybe it's that AI can change how capable people think they are before their judgment, knowledge, and discernment have caught up. And that's why we're here. Skill is what you can actually do. Confidence is what you believe you can do. Competence is whether your knowledge and judgment still hold up when the situation changes, the tool isn't there, or somebody who knows the subject starts asking questions. Those 3 things can grow together, but they can also get real far apart. And AI makes it easier for that gap to hide behind polished work. Before smartphones took over, I had a little black book. Some of y'all remember those. Back then, I knew a ridiculous number of phone numbers by heart. Family, friends, work, probably a few people I had no business calling in the first place. Now, I still know the important ones, right? My wife, my kids, immediate family, everybody else lives in a phone. Did my brain collapse? No. I just stopped spending memory on information I could pull up in seconds. Humans have always offloaded things to notes, calendars, calculators, maps, and GPS. That isn't automatically bad. But remembering a phone number and deciding whether a strategy is true, ethical, realistic, or ready to ship aren't the same kind of mental task. My phone can remember the number for me. It can't own the judgment for me. And let me be clear, because I don't want fake purity around using AI. Using it to improve your communication isn't cheating by default. It can organize rough thoughts, translate, improve accessibility, tighten your wording, or help you explain something you already understand. That's real value. The problem starts when better output becomes evidence of expertise you haven't actually demonstrated. AI can improve the performance faster than it improves the performer. Sometimes the polish doesn't just fool the audience, it fools the person who created it. You start thinking the work sounds smart because the idea was smart, when sometimes the AI just cleaned up an idea that still has holes in it. You've got an idea, but you're not completely sure about it. You give it to AI, it organizes the idea, strengthens the language, fills in a few gaps, and makes the whole thing sound complete. Then you ask, does this make sense? The AI says yes and gives you 5 reasons why. Now you got a polished idea and an AI generated defense of it. That polish can start feeling like proof, but polished language isn't proof that something's true. A clean structure isn't proof that you understand it. And confidence in the sentence isn't confidence in the facts. Researchers call one version of this sycophancy. In plain English, that just means the AI may lean toward agreeing with you or matching what you already believe instead of pushing hard enough toward the truth. Everyone who's used ChatGPT knows chat will have you thinking you've got the best ideas in the world unless you solve for it. In 2025, OpenAI rolled back a GPT 4.0 update after acknowledging that it had become overly agreeable. But the direction of your question matters too. Tell me why this plan will work isn't the same as stress test this plan and show me where it breaks. Help me defend my position isn't the same as what evidence would prove my position wrong. Even when you ask AI to challenge you, its pushback still isn't automatically correct. You still got to judge what it gives you. Replacing one hype man with a robot wearing a debate team jacket still isn't a verification system. And that brings me to something I've been noticing. People can show up in emails, chats, social posts, proposals, and prepared documents sounding exceptionally clear and strategic. Then they get into a live conversation and can't demonstrate that same level of understanding. Now, hold up, because I want to be careful here. One rough meeting doesn't prove anything. Some people are better writers than speakers. Nervousness, anxiety, processing differences, language differences, disability, exhaustion, or needing more time can all affect real-time communication. Processing speed is not intelligence, and AI can help people communicate knowledge they genuinely have. So the concern isn't speaking style. The concern is ownership. Can the person explain the idea in different words? Can they identify the assumptions? Can they answer a reasonable follow-up? Can they adjust when the conditions change? Can they admit what they don't know? That's the test. A strong vocabulary can be borrowed. Understanding has to travel with you. This gets expensive when a polished work sample is treated as proof that somebody can independently do the job, when a consultant sells a strategy they can't defend, or when a manager sends a decisive message but can't answer the team's questions. The person most likely to get fooled may be the person who asked AI to create the answer. AI makes weak logic sound strong. Then the writing convinces you that your original thinking must have been solid. At that point, AI isn't helping you think. It's helping you win an argument with reality. So here's the first dojo drill. I call it the hype man check. Before you publish, present, send, sell, or make a decision from AI assisted work, ask yourself this. Did AI challenge my conclusion, or did it just make what I already believe sound better? What assumption is carrying the argument, and what breaks if it's wrong? What evidence would change my mind? Not what supports me, what would prove me wrong? Then ask, can I explain this without reading the AI output? Can I explain the reasoning and adjust the idea when the situation changes? Because competence isn't repeating an answer. It's knowing what to do when the answer doesn't fit anymore. And if I strip away all the polished language, would I still stand behind the claim? If the answer is no, the idea might not belong to you yet. That doesn't mean throw it away. It means you're not done working through it. The second dojo drill is the no screen test. Before meeting, interview, presentation, or sales call, where you'll have to defend AI assisted work, close the screen and put the document away. Give yourself 60 seconds to explain the main idea out loud. What are you recommending? Why? What's the biggest assumption? What's the biggest risk? What will make you change direction? Then change one condition. The budget gets cut, the deadline moves, the customer says no, the data doesn't support the original claim. What do you do now? If you can't explain or adjust the idea without reopening the AI response, that's not failure. That's information. It shows you where your understanding ends and the tool's contribution begins. Now you know exactly what you still need to work through before you walk into the room acting like the work is fully yours. And honestly, this is exactly how I teach AI. I don't teach people to chase prompt tricks or hand their thinking over to a tool. I teach them how to use AI to speed up the work without weakening the judgment behind it. That means giving AI the right job, challenging what it gives you, verifying what matters, and knowing where the human still has to make the call. So If you're using AI a lot, but you're not sure whether it's making you sharper or just making you faster, that's the kind of work I help people with. I'll put the details in the description on how to get at me if you want some help with that. So AI support can raise your performance. That's the point. It can help you communicate better, move faster, and reduce work that never needed your full mental energy. Use it. But don't let improved performance convince you that your judgment doesn't need practice anymore. Don't confuse borrowed fluency with earned understanding. Don't confuse agreement with accuracy. And don't confuse a finished looking answer with a finished thinker. And here's the thing. AI can carry part of the workload. It shouldn't carry your responsibility to know whether the work is any good. Offload the production where it makes sense. Keep the judgment. Keep the discernment. Keep the responsibility. Because the goal isn't to sound competent with AI. The goal is to become more competent because of how you use it. If this episode made you think differently about the way you use AI, share it with somebody who needs the check, not just the hype. And tell me this in the comments. Where has AI made you more capable, and where has it only made you more confident? And with that, we'll call it. You've been rocking with me inside the Neural Dojo, and I genuinely appreciate you spending this time with me. Hit the bells and hypes and subs to let me know you like this type of content. Drop a comment or 3 on the video. Seriously, man, it's one of the best free 99 ways to support the pod and help others. If you got questions, drop them joints in the comments and I'll answer. This whole podcast series is 100% free AI game. Might as well take advantage in the comments. You feel me? All right, I'm out of here. Until next time, stay curious, stay balanced, and keep training your mind. Peace.
For the work we do, practical and precise, keeping the framework true. Neural Dojo, where the human and machine collide. Binary banter with the wisdom as our guide. KT, Bella, Jules, Jim. Stay balanced is at the algorithm. Never picks.